we're going to kick off our day with, of course, my first conversation with Lira. Truly honored. We had a situation where we had to think about which direction we go. There were many phone calls to many people about what we should be doing, and many people said, you need to speak to Lira. In a way, they said she resonates with your energy, the authenticity of the work that you do, and the truth of what we all want to become. So I will take this moment to ask Lira to join me on stage.
I love you.
I've already told her not to make me cry. I went to say hi at the back, and I'm not going to look at any of you because they're already crying. How are we going to get through this conversation?
Happy tears.
Happy tears.
Okay.
Happy tears. Happy tears. Lira, thank you so much for joining me today. It's a true honor to have this conversation with you. And I have a story, but I'm not going to start with it because it's in my notes. You look amazing.
Thank you.
You look happy.
Yes.
There's an energy of just eternal peace and calmness in you. Is that a correct observation? And what does it take to access that level of inner peace and calmness for you in this season?
When I had my stroke, there was a turbulent time when I had the stroke, finding out that I had stroke. There was a turbulent time that lasted 2 days. And what I did with that is I accepted my situation. And there was nothing for me to do. So why don't I accept it and deal with it? And peace and calm overtook me that day when I was in hospital at the ICU in Germany. And the peace and calm has never left me since. Yeah.
I told you a brief story when I came to say hi, and I told you I look away from you so much because I don't know why today is so emotional. I did so well last year. Who was here last year? Oh my gosh, I did so well last year. Please tell the others I'm not like this all the time. I told you a story about last year. Last year we had a spectacular moment. It is actually, for me, when I think about it now, such divine intervention for us to be sitting here talking today and everything that has happened since that moment for us. So at the Agenda Women Summit in 2022, after a full day of really what you're going to experience today, I could see the emotions in everyone. The last panel, which was our career wellness panel, I think touched a lot of people because it spoke to a lot of the struggles that women are facing in the corporate and working space. So by coincidence, the DJ played your song when we finished that panel. It was Something Inside So Strong. And I remember standing on stage thinking, what am I supposed to be doing now? When the entire room erupted and everyone sang that song and I waited for everyone to stop and no one stopped, right up until the end of the song. When you think about moments like that and the way that your work has impacted people, is that something that 16-year-old Lira envisioned for her life?
Definitely. I had visions of impacting people, but I never thought it would happen like this. Experiencing it in real life is unbelievable. So it's always been my intention When I write songs, I write them to make people feel good. I have a motto: feel good, feel God.
I love it.
That's what I hope people will feel for my music. Yeah.
One of the most trending conversations I've had, so we have a podcast on YouTube. This is a shameless plug. One of the most trending conversations in that podcast was a conversation I had with my dear friend Vika Shipalana, who had built an amazing career in the marketing environment. She had risen the ranks and she was in the head of the luxury department at Pernod Ricard. And then she decided to leave her job. Often I think what people who are in corporate environments don't prepare for is the transition of everyone calling you because they want something from you because you're at Pernod, and no one picking up your call because now what are you doing? Yeah. And how do I benefit from you? Transitions are tough for a lot of people. I remember my earliest memories of you was seeing the whole story unfolding of Lira leaving 999 and Lira standing on her own. And we watched you become, I imagined the Lira that you always wanted to become. But I cannot imagine that that transition was easy. Where did the confidence come from you to take such a leap of faith? Was this instilled from home? Is this something that you had to cultivate?
I left corporate jobs to pursue my career. So the courage stemmed from there. I left a corporate job, and it was in 2001, and I was good at my job. And it didn't matter how good I am. My company didn't pay me enough. And no, they paid my colleagues, which were white, better than I. Yeah. So it occurred to me that it doesn't matter how hard I work. A white lady or white people would always earn more than me. So it was 2001. But I had to go into a career that I knew my hard work would pay me enough. And I went to singing, yeah? And 999 was... Ish. We will not talk badly, but Arthur gave me inspiration to build my business based on him, without the bagged stuff. I'm trying to communicate, but it takes me a while, yeah? And I was exploited. And I based my business on Arthur's business. And paid my people well, and saved for the future. And Arthur made us work very hard, but we didn't get a cent. It was promotion. And that taught me how to, how to run a business. And I left, and the transition from then was hard, but I learned a few little tricks. And I built my business in 2006, and now it's,
It is what it is. It is what it is. There's something that absolutely fascinates me about you, Lira. Every time I've heard you speak, all the time I've seen your work, every time I've listened to Mali.
yes. Yes.
That's a powerful song.
Yes.
There's something about the way that you approach life, which goes back to this point that I asked about before you answered. The confidence and the courage and the conviction. Is that home or is that cultivated work?
My mother would say, raising me with my grandmother, and she would say, look, when I was a toddler, she'd say, look at her. She's walking outside. We are going to teach her fear because she's not afraid. So the bravery was already in me. But I had to work on my bravery. And the thought that I go through is there's nothing else for me to do. So why don't I make the move, make changes to
Take your time. We're here.
changes. If nothing changes, you're going to have the same thing over. And if you change, something new will happen.
Absolutely.
That's the thought I apply.
You're doing well. We're doing well. We're doing well. I want to take people on this journey of Lira. So as I ask the question, I want you to stay engaged with that. You know, it's for me, the deeper understanding of what drives you, but also how that drive then shows up in moments when you are on your high and when you are on your lows. I want to speak about setbacks. You go ahead and you take this leap of faith and you're on your own. And, when I was working with my head of content about how we're going to drive this conversation, we had a long discussion about backing yourself. The risk that you take when you say it's all on me. Yes. And there's no one to blame. You can't blame your bad mother or your bad father. You can't blame the thing that happened. You can't blame where you grew up. You can't blame anything. Yeah. You say, I'm going to back myself and I'm going to push forward. You've done that so many times, Lira. Yeah. You've done that so many times. But I want to know, what were the biggest challenges of backing yourself? And what do you believe were the key decisions that you made when those challenges showed up?
That's a good question. I'm formulating.
We're here.
ask that question again. I want to focus on, yes.
So it really is about backing yourself,
Okay.
firstly. And when you do decide to back yourself, and you go out on your own,
Yes.
and you start your own business,
Yes.
and you're the early people in the music industry who's female doing that,
Yes.
what were the key challenges you remember?
Okay. Thank you. The challenges that I had faced were requiring money to record and promote my career. And I needed to make money. And I took on little jobs. And jobs that would pay me 1,500. And when I had people to pay, and 2,000 jobs, it was very little money. But I paid myself a salary from 1,500.
Wow.
Yes. And I was cognizant of the fact that I need to save money, but spend some or in the job, yeah? And I learned to do this over time. And before long, I have some money saved, and different jobs would pay me different amounts. And 6 months down the line, I had a proper saving, and I could pay my staff. And that is the reason, and I was doing this constantly, and that was the reason I'm okay now. And I haven't been working for 16 months, but I'm fine. Finances were important to me. So in 2006, I've been doing this constantly. And I paid myself a salary. And when you make good money, don't go ballistic. Pay yourself a salary. And at the end of the year, pay yourself a bonus.
I love that. It's actually the second time that you're mentioning saving. It really, I need my audio tech team to cue Mali when I'm done with this conversation with Lira, because suddenly I understand where that song came from. I have to say, in my own personal journey, I have many struggles with my relationship with money. And it's the reason I'm always so deliberate about having a money conversation when we have the Agenda Women Summit. Because I understood at some point that this was not only about our ability to make money and save, it was what we think money means. So what does it mean when I have money? What does it mean when I don't have money? And how we attach our identity to those two situations. So I want to come back to this money thing, because I actually had financial autonomy as part of my questions and conversations with you. You seem to have had your neck on money very early. You understood what you could do with 1,500 rands and what you could do with 2,000 rands. You understood the percentages versus the big number. When you start to work with a partner, and it's your intimate partner that you are running your business with, and all of that is shaping up, how do you, and I'm gonna rephrase this because I know that there's a lot of married women who often feel like they don't have power over their money. Yeah. I can't imagine what happens when you're not only married, but then your partner is also a business partner. What was that dynamic? And what could you, I always hate the question, what would you advise? But I just want to hear your story around how you navigated that situation.
Yes. Okay. My then husband, we worked together as separate businesses. And that was his idea. Oh, yeah. And when we got married, he suggested that we keep our business is separate, which I'm grateful for now.
I was literally listening. I was waiting to hear where the story goes because the entire time I'm just thinking that is a very good move.
Yes, because he wanted me to be independent. Oh. So I kept my assets, my house, my business, my publishing, everything when we divorced. Yeah. Yeah.
I think that's a powerful lesson. In 2021, we had a conversation through another sponsorship on finances, and that's when this whole intentionality around finances, particularly when you get married, came up. A lot of people, when we get married, we were either too young to understand how you even structure finances. We don't have any financial portfolios. You don't even know what it means. We are still figuring out what our relationship with money is. And, or you're just in love. So let's get this right. Every single person that is in this room, if you're married and you're afraid to start this conversation, say a prayer. Because you're going to need to have this conversation with your partner. If you're not married yet, have some kind of checklist for yourself. That is not the partner that you want, but the things that you're going to have to discuss financially with the person before you get married to them. It's so important that we remind each other of these things because, you guys fall in love.
My husband was already in business when I met him, and I didn't have a cent to my name. And I had to work hard because I was not going to have the security of his income when I was married.
Yeah.
And I had to work very hard, but it did me good.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I don't know how much time I have because I could sit here and talk with Lira the whole day. So someone needs to stop me. But I'm going to go to my next question. I want to come back to this journey. You start off, you're working in corporate, you leave, you work at 999, you learn a couple of things, you start to back yourself, and it's shaky at the beginning, and then you find feel good. The song lands. I don't even want to call it a classic. I think a lot of your songs are almost like prayers. You know, there is intentionality around how you want people to feel.
Yes.
And you say it.
Yes.
When Feel Good did what it did you feel like I am finally doing the thing
Yes.
that
yes,
I
yes,
always
yes,
wanted to do?
Yes, yes, yes.
Tell me where that song came from.
It came from a place that I was dreaming of. Yeah. And it was a prayer for me to
Feel good.
sit in that future. When it landed, I started making money.
Wow.
And I started, I was on the cover of Cape Town Jazz Festival. I had never performed in a jazz festival. Many things happened around that song. And it took 3 years for me to get ready and to get my mindset right, to get my heart right. I had to forgive Arthur, my bosses at corporate.
Wow.
I had to let go and allow new things to come into me.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. No matter how noble the act of pursuing a purposeful life is, and it's a noble act. I want to live purposely. I want to be intentional. I write amazing songs. I dream and I manifest. There are challenges that we still face, even in that pursuit. What did you have to lose? What did you lose? What was the cost of this intentionality, this connectedness to ideating your life, this pursuit of a life well lived?
Yes.
It's often, for a lot of people, I think the barrier is leaving people behind,
Yeah.
because you will have to leave people behind. I want to know what was yours.
I had to leave a couple of my friends behind. One lady said to me, "Eish, she said it in Sotho, and I struggle with Sotho." Okay, I'm going to try. Chomi. You sold gold. Ki ge o nka nkenyetsa bana sekolo. Wow.
Translation.
For the ladies that are
Specifically Zulu.
a lady, the lady was telling me, "You sold gold. You must take my kids to school." But my friends wanted entitlement
Yeah.
to my work. I had to leave them. And I was wearing my short hair. Girls that wore short hair weren't popular. And a famous brand wanted me to wear a weave. They were going to give me money for wearing a weave, that I was going to be a part of their campaign. And I said, no. I'm not a model. I'm an individual. And I'm an artist. And what I stand for is me authentically. So I said no to many
Things.
opportunities because I felt that myself, that I felt that I felt they would compromise what I'm about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm in the last piece of the story, and I'm going to talk about Lira now. So your career is going well. You've become the global artist who's performing. You're controlling your money. You make it through the period of your divorce. And just when it seems you've survived the hard years of your life, or the challenges, it's 3 years since performing internationally, and you suffer a stroke in April.
Yeah.
How did you process the news once you are being told that you've suffered a stroke and that your language center is damaged?
Yes.
And I want to speak about this for anyone who doesn't know why Lira is struggling to find words. I'm not going to assume that everyone knows, so I'm going to give you a chance to share a little bit about that story.
I'm fascinated with my life. I'm fascinated with my brain. And the stroke was my blessing. Yeah. 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 Okay. The first time I heard I've got a stroke, I was shocked. I love myself. I eat well. I take care of my mind. How could a stroke happen to me? I'm too young to have a stroke. And the doctors, the German doctors and the South African doctors never knew how I got stroke. So it's just those things that happen. And I cried all day because I was going to perform the next 2 days later. And I'm thinking of the fans, the band. Oh, I cried. I cried until I cried out. And in the morning, I accepted my situation. And I thought, I'm alive. So I didn't die. So that there has to be something for me to learn.
Yeah.
So I opened myself to learning the lessons.
Yeah.
And calm and peace took over me. And from that day, I was happy. And my partner came to the hospital, and it was during the hospital wasn't allowing any visitors. And my partner came to the room. And he spent 5 to 6 hours every day with me. And the doctors told my partner and my agent and the German promoter that they didn't know if I'd learn to speak. The damage in my mind was so huge. And I had aphasia, which is an inability to speak, to read, and write. So I had to learn to speak. And English was English was what please interject.
Okay. Okay, I was allowing you to speak because in the interview you said you want to be able to find the words. I will definitely help.
Yes.
I remember you mentioned that's what your speech therapist uses to also teach you.
Yes. English was the language.
Language.
I used to learn to speak. And if you guys would help me, speak Zulu to me, and then I can respond. I can hear all languages, but it's harder for me to think of words and to pronounce them. It's a whole gedoente. But I could feel the words that I'm trying to say. But I couldn't think or spell them. I could feel what I wanted to say. And the words just, And I had to learn to say that words. But I did so happily. And my life is fascinating to me. And I'm enjoying my life, and I'm enjoying the recovery process. And I don't feel bad. I'm enjoying it. And I'm happy, and I'm love, and I love food.
And you have money.
Yes! 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 I have nothing to worry about. My brain shut down for a year. Yeah. My brain shut down and gave me, I had no thought. I was only involved with the moment.
That's a gift.
Yes, yes.
That's a gift.
Yes.
That's a gift.
I'm trying to tell you, my stroke was a stroke of luck.
Amen. Love it.
I love my life. Yeah.
We can feel it.
So I don't feel bad. Don't cry for me unless it's tears of joy. Yeah. I will
promise you.
learn how to sing and articulate words but it's going to take time, but I'm enjoying.
We absolutely feel the joy. You are radiant. We can, with every word, when you said your brain shut down for a year, I'm like, can you imagine sitting in meditation state for a year? Because I meditate for 20 minutes and I don't want to come out. And I'm just like, can I just rest here?
Yes, but my brain is coming back online. Oh. And some of the things that I struggle with my brain is worry. We worry out of habitual.
Yeah.
We worry habitually. There's nothing for us to worry about. We worry about the future. Oh, I couldn't think of the future, so I had no anxiety. Yeah.
Everyone is just like, give me that for a day, please. Give me no anxiety for a day.
I don't have anxiety previously, but I noticed I couldn't think of the future. And if somebody would ask me, what are you doing tomorrow? I couldn't, that didn't exist. I was caught up in the moment. And watching birds fly or the sea, it gives me so much pleasure. And that's why I was happy living in the moment.
Yeah.
And God or the universe took care of me.
Amen.
And I didn't worry about anything. And the universe gave me a lot. I've been spoiled. I've been spoiled. So my stroke is an amazing
Gift.
gift. Yeah.
My final question, because you've said so much of what I would have wanted to explore, and you said it so beautifully. There's something about even just listening to you think, the idea of feeling good
Feeling God.
and feeling God, and how that was delivered so beautifully for you. When striving to regain your sense of self and purpose after a life-altering event, what has been your fundamental reason to exist, to fight and to recover?
I'm alive. I didn't kick the bucket. Life is worthy of being celebrated and being lived. And I'm obsessed with making life more enjoyable for me. Because I have time to enjoy life. And I've got resources. And I'm taking the time for myself to enjoy. And you have to give me some time to enjoy life. And I'm not going back to work right now. I'm enjoying myself.
Slow down the online.
Yeah. I've been working hard all my life. For 20 years, This year, I celebrated 23 years of the music into.
That's
I've worked hard. So now it's time to enjoy myself. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. There's meant to be someone who tells me that I'm running over, but no one is interested in this team. I'm just seeing phones and people recording and no one doing their job. But I think we have come to the end of our time.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Lira.
Thank you.